Mic check 1 2 3 3 2 1 check mic. Once again, you're here with the host with the most from the West Coast, KingdomX, man. And this is another conversation of elevation, breaking the chains. Y'all give it up for yourselves, give it up for each other. Man, I'm here with, family that's closer than brothers. To my left, I have the CEO of D.E.E.P.C.A Records, DollaB. Check him out, follow me. To my right, I have the CEO of Stay Trippin', you know what I'm saying? LLC. See the drip I be having on. In this chapter, we're gonna get into, talking about how to overcome some of life's most toughest chains, right? So, y'all being entrepreneurs, y'all being your own bosses, navigating that in today's society and having to gauge your success, off of what you progress, how you progress. So, whether it's like financial challenges or addiction or, let me know, in y'all journey, what has been some of the most toughest chains that you faced, and then what, did you do, or what did you, what happened for you to finally break through and get to where you are right now. Pass on some gems to somebody.
Let's see. For me, the toughest thing was battling addiction. Being 4 years clean, it has its it has its roller coaster bumps. It's never easy, and it never gets easier, because there is always a constant of this thing that we call balance. So, with the positives and your pros, you're always gonna have your cons. Some things may weigh on you more than others. As for me, it was trying to stay the course. It's like I've always been one to believe in myself. If I could do it, I could do it. I always say, when people always say things are easier said than done, I always say, yeah, but the hard things still have to be done, no matter if they aren't said. So, my fight just came from a stand of faith and performance, because just like they always say, faith without works is dead. But the biggest part is putting in the work. You have to be determined, and you have to really learn how to take the gray area out of your life. And to me, that's the biggest part of battling yourself, because you're always in the ring with yourself every single day that you wake up. Especially with battling with addiction, and just when life be lifing, and you have those escapes that you're used to, trying to adapt to certain things or change your mindset. It always, the hardest part of it is having that gray area, because you got to sail through that. Right. And sometimes you could get stuck in it, and that's kind of like a limbo. So it's just like, if you could get to that threshold of this is what it is and this is what, it'll be easier for you to cross paths, as hard as it may be, but that's the best part of the accomplishment of the battle, because it took a lot of faith, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of just change of not only of personal self, just scenarios, situations, just everything. Just in order to get to this plateau of saying, you know what, okay, I like where I'm at. I'm going to stick this course and continue to thrive and grow in this area, as opposed to it be like, you're doing this good, and then you might hit a stump in the road, and you're just like, everything just come tumbling down.
Fall down.
Because it happened to me a couple of times.
Well, let me ask you this, man, because to get to that, you gotta know that you are addicted. So like, how do you know that something is an addiction? How did you know? How was you able to tell?
For me, it was just a form, witnessing forms of habits. Okay. I grew up in that type of environment, so it just started to notice certain things about myself, and the things that I was doing, the people that I was surrounding myself around all the time, just because I knew that it was, you know, like it was lucrative to me. You know, it's easy access. I don't have to pay for it. I don't, you know, we just chilling, we getting high. Whoever got it at that time. So just seeing that, and then just to start to realize how big of a monster it became to me when I looked in the mirror and I didn't really recognize who I was anymore.
That's deep. And it sounded like you said, because it was kind of pleasing you at first, like it was a self-pleasing type of relationship.
It was feeding one of the biggest demons I ever encountered, that I ever walked with before. I've walked with a few, but that was the one that stuck to me kind of like a cancer for a while. And it's like, you know, the more I started to realize it was when I started to wake up, and that was literally not only the first thing on my mind, but that was the first action that I did the other day, besides praying, washing my face, brushing my teeth, washing my ass, like anything. That was just like the first thing, like get up, go to the store.
So the pleasure factor overtook, you know, you like self-care.
Yes.
And like things that you really treasured about yourself.
Everything. It started to mess with my music for a while. It started to mess with my personal life, job life, sabotaged relationships, personal and business, just because I was like, I was took out. I was down bad. It was nothing that I could do about it. I just succumbed to it. I'm like, if this is it, this is it.
So I mean, it sounded like you was all the way in the pits, man. Like, give folks some inspiration, some direction, and some gems of how you got through to where you are today. Because you done bounced back.
Yeah.
You came back like Bo Jack, you know what I'm saying? For black.
For real. The biggest thing is support. And that's on all aspects. Support. You need a strong support system, and like it could look like whatever it feels like to you, but you need that support system. For me, it was gaining a support system in church. Went to rehab for a minute. Started to, you know, interact with people that have been in the same boat, just to, you know, the meetings, gaining friends that have been clean, to, you know, just to see what to transition into, you know, that next platform, just to see how that grass was green on that side. And that, and really determination is like, because the one thing for me that got me out of it was I just got tired. Like I got sick of being like looking at who I was looking at, feeling how I was feeling, being the person that I was. It's like, cause I deem myself weak. Like I've always been the type of person to make my own decisions, to be like, okay, yeah, everybody's doing that, I'm not doing that. That's stupid to me. That's why would I do that? That don't even make sense. As opposed to, I'm just like, okay, well, that's what we doing, and that's what we doing. Right. But I had to take my power back. I had to take my life back, and I did not do it alone. I could not do it alone, and you won't be able to do it alone. Those hardest fought battles even when you feel like you by yourself, you're not by yourself.
Somebody was going through it with you, somebody experienced it before, can kind of give you some gems and nuggets, which we're hoping that this is for somebody out there. And if you can just summarize it, for folks, identifying, the perspective, what you made the change, and then steps that you took to get to where you are.
These 3 words got me 4 years just for today. I mean, we are only granted 24 hours. We don't know if we'll get the next 24. We pray for it. We move to strive, towards possibly getting granted with that tap on the shoulder. But it's like, if you could just manage to fight that demon that you're battling with for those 24 hours, and God grants you with another 24, you know that you have the strength for that next 24. You only have to work within that time frame. Don't try to worry about the futures and the, we plan for those things. I put that in the song before. Like, I don't plan because they fail.
Check it out.
It's $billion dollar vision. It's a cold analogy to exactly what we're talking about now. I've done a lot of planning in my lifetime. Put a lot of footwork into some of the planning, and still failed. But it's just like, the more I just stood out on the limb and got out of the way and let God do what he had to do, and just stood, stood on business as far as faith and following the blueprint. I'm sitting right here in front of y'all today, and being able to, to share this insight. And, like, don't be afraid of it. A lot of people in this society is so stuck as far as like trying to find a path of where your faith is. Like, you know what it is. Like, it don't matter what God you serve, it's still one God. But get your faith and your relationship strong, because that is the biggest supporter out of any supporter that you'll ever get.
Right.
And that's real spill.
That's it, man. So phenomenal, inspirational, and actually applicable, like actual steps. So, just like every other episode, we pray that this helps somebody. Hope it helped everybody, but it sure helped me. And for sure, sound like it helped them.
Yeah,
so,
it helped me a
thanks,
lot.
Dollar, for sharing
Yeah,
the
for
game.
sure.
We'll be back at the next chapter or the next verse. Next time, we'll see you. Breaking the chains.
Breaking the chains, yo.